Hello everyone, it's Linda from Richter Stitcher. I thought I would do another Flosstube. It's April 1st and I have lots to get through, so I'm hoping this won't be very long. I say that all the time and it ends up being long. I always concern about glasses with all the lights, but hopefully you're not getting too much of a glare, but it helps me to see what I'm reading on my things. So I appreciate you coming back if you're returning viewers, and if not and you're new, well, welcome you. I just appreciate you tuning in. This is a cross stitch channel and I mix in a few other crafts, especially sewing and quilting, because I do enjoy that as well. Lots of other crafts too, but mainly here to just keep up with my stitching and all that I've started. You all know that stitching can kind of take over your life if you're not careful, but I do enjoy just all of it really. And this past month, being April now, looking back at March, I just wanted to go through what I've stitched on, my goals for WIPGO, a little bit of haul. I should say a lot of it. This past month I went a little nuts on some things, and then some future plans that I have going, and maybe a few life updates. So first of all, let's just do the WIPGO and start there. I'm going to have to probably look at my notes because I don't want to forget anything. Last month's WIPGO, we if you watched my previous video, I shared where I was at. This is my little chart here, and all the orange spots, I'm so pleased, are ones that have actually met my goals for. So we're into April now, but so January, February, and March, all three, I met the goals that I set for myself. If you are new here, I have a new grandbaby, so in January when I put this all together, I was just very uncertain what I would be able to do with a new grandbaby, because she is my first and she's a doll. We love her to death, but got to see her today, so I'm filming this a little late today, but I want to be able to get through it all. Last month's numbers, let me remember here now, were 15 and 21. If you know, Jessie Marie Does Stuff is the brainchild of the WIPGO challenge, which is Works in Progress Go. So my number 15 was His Eye is on the Sparrow, which is a Beth twist pattern. And I always forget to take it out of the plastic. I am using all the called for colors as I drop things already. This is the pattern, if you can see that. And it's a big one, but any little bit that I can do on it, I am very pleased with. It's done on an 18 count Aida called Dirty. So these are the colors. Like I said, I'm using all the called for. There are quite a few, but they are very pretty. I like the vintage style of the colors, and it goes really well. And if you watched my last Flosstube, you will see where I was at. I've got so much stuff here, I've got to make sure nothing falls. And this one's a big one, so I have it on a Q-snap. I do use a fairly large Q-snap on a floor stand. Boy, somebody said itchy noses when you do this stuff, and I always have to itch my nose. But this is how far I got. This one, where's my notes? I wrote down. I only did a couple days on it because my goal was only to get one, I think it was one strand of floss, or was it 25 X's? 25 X's. Have to look at my notes. But I think last time I showed it, it just had one of the arrows. So I was able to go up and finish the arrow, and I think that was already there. So this little arrow down here was all I had, so I was able to do all of this. And like I said, it's baby steps for me. in relationship to my grandbaby. Literally baby steps with my cross stitch too, but I am glad just to pull it out each time my numbers come up and be able to work on it. A few of the other cross stitches that I have, I like to leave out, but I'm finding I won't work on the other ones as much if I do that, so I have to be careful. I'm just going to set these on the floor so they're out of the way. So that was his eyes on the sparrow. And let me just set this stuff with it, and my notes can go back there. That was my first whip go that I was able to color my little chart off of, so that was exciting. I met that goal at March the 25th, so not too many days ago, this last week. So I think I said in my last Flosstube, I'm a procrastinator, so I tend to put things off till the last minute, and this particular pattern was one of those. I think because it's so big. I don't know what everyone else does with large pieces. I've tried to do it in hand, but it's just so hard to hold each piece. I like it spread out in front of me, so my floor stand that I sit in front of, it's just easy to have one hand behind my frame and the other hand on top and just do it that way. You would think I would be a faster stitcher that way, but that's just how comfortable I am with it when I can do it that way. So that was whatever number I said it was. Cardinal points was my other whip go, and I did do like an extra video in the middle of the month. I think it was on St. Patrick's Day actually, because it took me a while to get the rest of the flosses for Cardinal points, and it wasn't even on a Q-snap, and I didn't have the fabric serged or anything like that. So because of that, I think I was talking to another Flosstuber, and she mentioned even putting it on a frame and serging the edges, that's all considered part of the work in getting stitching done. But so I did get it on a frame and put it with my little Christmas birds, red birds. I thought it kind of went with the picture, which is this one here. This is Cardinal points, my other whip go for last month. It's a big one. I was really excited to get the cloth, and that's probably what I should tell you. It has wherever I put my card, I'm losing things. When you have so much stuff, it's hard to keep track of everything. It's, I think, oh gee. Sorry guys, I am all combobulated. No, that's for that one. Well, when I got the flosses, what I was saying, that's why I came on. Keepsake sent me the extras, and I'm doing all the called for except for 3 that they didn't have. The Gentle Arts Hyacinth is now the Classic Colorworks Plum Paisley, and then the Morning Glory on the chart is now Classic Colorworks Morning Glory. I guess Gentle Arts and Classic Colorworks both have one called Morning Glory, so they apparently didn't have the Gentle Arts in their stock. And then the Gentle Arts Raven is now the Gentle Arts Witching Hour. So my goal for that one was 1 strand of floss, and I ended up putting 119 stitches in on this one. So it wasn't even started. So I started with the grape cluster in the middle of the pattern, and I'm pretty sure this is an 18 count white Aida. Actually, I can tell you exactly what it is, because part of my haul I had to go purchase it. I thought I was going to order it, but I thought I'd check the stores first. And yes, it's an Aida cloth, 18 count. So I ended up cutting a piece off of that and putting it on the frame. So I've enjoyed that stitch. And this size is really good because I find it easier to hold if I need to, or in my clamp that I have. I put it on a clamp in my stand, and I can get my arms all around each side easily, whereas that other one's quite a bit longer and it's just a little harder to work with. So I guess each one you do, you find that you're easier to get the hang of how you stitch. So I'm learning. It's a work in progress, right? So that is my WIPCOs, and I did meet both of those goals. One was on the 25th, and then that one was on the 22nd. So I was able to color my little chart, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do, is keep track. And so this next month, which is April now, we have numbers 7. Let me double check, make sure I'm telling you the correct numbers. Yeah, numbers 7 and 10. And on my chart, number 7, I have So She Did, and actually it's called She Believes She Could, So She Did, and that's a Lori Holt pattern. So I'll share that with you, where I'm currently at and where I hopefully will be a little further along next time. I'm doing it on a 14 count Aida, and I'm using the Aura floss, which are the little spools, and I'm using what they call for. So currently this is where I'm at. I've gotten a little bit done. This is one that I used to take to my friend's house when we would stitch together, so I was able to get a little bit done. I'm going to take this little grime guard off because you can probably see it a little better. But I've got the words she, and almost got the word could with the thread and the little bobbin. This is the start of the sewing machine with the needle, and then I'm working on the scissors over here, and then there's a little bit down here in the corner that I've got done. So that's where I'll pick it up here this month, and hopefully maybe get the scissors done and a few other things. I can show you my back, I guess. It's not horrible, but I've got, you can actually see the areas that I've stitched. So 14 count's pretty easy for me, so I do enjoy, I can go a little faster with 14 count. But it's kind of what I used to do in the 80s. Was I started on 14 count. I didn't even know there was 18 and 28 and 36, but I've got an assortment going this year. So I don't know if I showed you the actual pattern, but that's what it'll look like when it's complete. And the plan for this one is somewhere here in the craft room, if not on my door. And I say that now being in this house, but our future plans are to move up towards the lake, and we have bought property out there. So wherever my craft room is, this will be somewhere in it or at the front of the door of it, because I love to sew, and of course the aqua is that's really what attracted me, is the color. As you can tell in my room, it's pretty much a paint of teal everywhere. Oops. I also, Fat Quarter Shop, when I kit these up, I like to find bags. They actually had the bag that said She Believes She Did, So She Could, so I actually had to buy that, and that's what I will carry and keep my pattern in as I'm working on it this month. So that's number 7 of WIPCO for this month that I plan to work on. And then the next is, what number did I say? Let me put this under here so it's out of the way and I can tell myself I went and did it already. That was those flosses. It's called A Handworks Pace by Plum Street Samplers. And I keep losing my chart here, but that is number 21. So yeah, 7 and 21, or not 21. That was cardinal points. See, I'm all confused. This is number 10, so 7 and 10. So the same line. Hopefully I'll remember that. And this one is done with NPI silks. Did I get those out? Yes. And I didn't change any. I'm using the called for. I usually have those out. And I did start this back in 2020, it says, on my birthday. It was a birthday start. I think I told the story in my last Flosstube. We were at an outing together, my husband and I, and we stayed in a farmhouse. And this was all stitched up sitting on the counter, and of course it didn't have the name on it, so I didn't know what it was, so I came home and had to research it, and someone on Facebook told me that it was a Plum Street and it was still in print, so I was like, I have to get it. So I ended up starting it on my birthday. But these are the NPIs. Oh, and it does have a few gentle arts as well. So those are the colors. Very pretty. And I'll show you where I'm at currently, and hopefully we'll get a little more stitched on it next time. And I put it in a smaller, longer, because I like to work on the border, so I'm not real happy with a lot of the stitches in it because it's my first. I didn't tell you what fabric I'm using. It's a linen, and yeah, it's a 40 count Weeks Dye Works straw, so I need to get it a little tighter on the frame. But this is currently, I don't know what you're seeing, I hope I'm showing this good enough for you, but I've got some of the border down this far, and hopefully I can get a little further down. I currently have, like I said, this grime guard on here, and I've only got it clamped. I used 2 grime guards. I've got it clamped on 2 sides currently, and then the extra is here, all wrinkled. Sorry about that, but when it's this thin of a fabric, I can just, wind it and roll it up and then put my grime guards around it so that it's out of the way. And then of course my needle minder is a Gina's Unique Boutiques on Etsy. It's a little stitching lady, and I thought it was so cute, and it's perfect for this Handworks pace. I thought that was so cute. I do like the color of the linen, but it's very thin. It's not real stiff, so it's kind of hard to hold on to, so I do put it in a Q-stamp because of that. So those are my 2 Ripcos for this month of April. I'm excited to get a little more progress on those. And I will set this down here, and we can continue. Next, I'd like to share a few of the other projects that I've worked on this month. I did more than just the Whipco, which I was very happy with, because sometimes I can't, it's just, we're always doing others, but more about that in a minute here. I think I mentioned, wanting to do something, and you always want to help, but with the crisis in Ukraine and all, I wanted to kind of do something myself where I can sit and relax and just think about what's going on, and pray for those that are going through such a hard time. And I mentioned one of the Flosstubers put out a free pattern from Long Dog Samplers, and this one's called Slava Ukrainian, and it's a free pattern, so if you go on the website you can probably find it and print it off. But I love the sunflowers on it, and the colors were just so vibrant. I thought, it looked like a small enough one. So that's where I'm working on, and I was able to get 16 count beautiful beige is what I'm using as my fabric. And the colors that I decided to use were, well, I used to have them up there, but they're in the back. They're the Chronics. I've done a little bit of organizing this month with my flosses. I still got a long ways to go though, because I want to chart it all and make sure I know what I've got. But these are the colors that I'm using. Very vibrant, bright colors. And I put them on a floss ring, and then I'll take it off of the grime guard as well, because you can see it a little bit better. I should have probably taken it off, but this is how much I've gotten done. I started on the border, and then a little bit of the gray in the middle. So I'm liking how it's looking. And on 16 count, it's not really hard for me to see it, so I can hold this in my hand. It doesn't have to be on a stand to stitch it, but I am enjoying that. And like I said, remembering those that are going through such hard times. It's a good time for me to just say a prayer for so many and appreciate the floss tuber that put this out. And I can put her link in the description box at the bottom if anybody else is interested in doing that as well. So that's that one that I worked on. And then another one that I've been working on because it's so close to a finish, it's not there yet, is the Baby It's Cold Outside by Beth Twist. You probably all maybe even have done it, but I'm getting pretty close to a finish on this one. I started it back in February of 2020, and I'm doing it on a 14 count Aida called Oatmeal. And I'm pretty sure I'm using the called for colors and stuff. I don't think, I might have changed the green that was in here because it didn't look like the greens in the trees. I wanted them to look evergreenish. So I'm pretty much done, but I had ran out of this brown color a while ago, and I finally was able to get some in this past month, and I thought, well, I'm going to pull this out again and try to finish some words. So where I had stopped was on this E, so I was able to get the words fireplace, and then I had a little less of the roof. I don't know if you can see that white. I was able to do some more white on there. So really all I have left to do is this doorway, the rest of the roof, and some people, it's not in this chart, but some people are putting 2 birds on the roof, and I have a pattern that has 2 little cardinals that I'm going to do the same. I don't know if I'll put them together side by side or if I'll do one on each roof, maybe one over here and one on the top of this roof. But we started this as a sale for Lost in Floss. Barb, and I can't think of her name, but the other one, she passed away, and so they started this sale for her and in remembrance of her. So I decided to do the same thing, and I'm really pleased with how it's looking and excited to finish. Oh, there's some snowflakes too that'll go in here that I have to finish, but it's getting close, and the closer I get, the more excited I get to keeping it out and wanting to work on it. So those are pretty much the cross stitches that I've worked on this past month. So more than I did last month, I think. And the more I'm doing and seeing and how much time I have with grandbaby, I can kind of tell how much I can get done. So this month I decided to try a few more and was able to accomplish a little bit. Oh, these are my flosses for Cardinal points. I think I said in my last update that I was able to get some from Keepsakes, and I just love looking at the colors. That's one of the reasons I put all my flosses in the back here on the wall, because when I walk in here, it makes me happy. It makes me smile. So those are my cross stitch pieces. I think next what I want to quickly share, if I can get through it quickly, is my haul. Like I said, I've been doing a little more this month than I probably should have, but when I get out in the stores or see things, like with Market, people buying things, I have to get a few things here and there. Like I said, I bought some Aida cloth that was at a Hobby Lobby or a Michael's run. I went to Michael's actually. Some of the stuff is from Amazon, so if I can link it in the bottom, I'll do that. This is an art bin. I got it on Amazon, and of course the color, but I've only got a couple of these, and for some of my quilting projects, I'm trying to store them in these and put them in my closet. So I had seen this on one of the quilting floss things that I watch, and I had to get it. So that was one of the things that I bought from Amazon. I'm trying to think, there was a couple things from Amazon that I got. Oh, here, underneath all this stuff, I was able to find, I'm going to try to unfold it, but maybe not the whole thing because it's huge. Like I said, I'm a quilter, but when I seen these fabrics, I had to get them. So just thought I'd share a little bit of the haul. And I've said in the past that I am a coffee lover. And this one's the Chalk Talk series from Riley Blake. So it's just a really big panel, and it says coffee, and it's got like a menu on it. I don't know if I can do this or not. We're gonna try. I'll just show it, part of it. And if you can see down here, it's you know, it's got a menu with the pricing. So my plan for this is to make a quilt, and if not this wall over here, it's empty. If I get it finished, panels are a little easier than an actual quilt for me, so I might be able to finish it. And with these other fabrics that I'm going to show you here, I'm just going to throw this on this chair. For the backing and the borders, I got like little swirlies, a yard each, so there's 3 yards here. So those are a few things I also got on Amazon. Just going to move everything over here and put the stuff that I show you inside of it. And then the door quilt that I'm making, I'll show you that in a second. I found this at Hobby Lobby. I thought I would, when I finish it, it's just going to be, you know, maybe that big. And I'm going to hang it on this, and then this will hang on the door. And it's in honor of the Ukraine and all that they're going through. Quilter Pat Sloan put out a free pattern that I've been working on, and I'll share you my progress on that in a minute. But I found that to hang it on. I haven't done too much canvas with cross stitch, but I've seen some, and I thought I want to have some on hand, so I picked up a sleeve of that. And I'm still working on my heart hanger. I haven't tried it yet, but these were really cheap at I think this was Hobby Lobby. Yeah, they had these for like pennies. I guess it was like their last in stock. So these are the number 12 and number 8 pearl cottons. So they're off-white and white, and I thought for neutral colors they would be great to start my stash with those pearl cottons, because some patterns I find they actually call for pearl cottons. A few more quilting things. Of course, this is a, well, you see my words, my happy place. This is a door knocker thing that you put on your door. That was at Hobby Lobby, and I had to pick that up. And then when I make my quilts, I like to sign them. So these are, you sew these in the bottom of your quilts and put your name on them. So I had picked up a couple of those. Like I said, they were all on sale, you know, $1. They were very inexpensive. And then these are actually keychains, I guess. But my thought, because I don't really carry my keys anymore the way cars are made now, but with all these kitted up projects, I like to put these like for zipper pulls and such. So there was a little quilt block that I found there at Hobby Lobby, and of course a sewing machine. So I picked those up as well. And then I like to hold my needles in little containers, so they had a couple needle holders that I grabbed. And another thing from Amazon I forgot was, it's kind of noisy. I'm going to try to be quiet so it's not so crinkly sounding. It's a weekly, monthly planner, but it does not have dates in it. So I can use this maybe in 2023 was my plan, so I just picked that up. I like the size of it. It's small. It can fit inside of one of your zippy bags if you're going somewhere, or in your purse. So I had to pick that up, and of course it's in my color. So like I said, I went a little nuts. And of course, being March, things on sale at Target. I think about framing, and when I finish things, what it's going to be like. I went ahead and got their 75% off things. I've seen these little clovers for St. Patrick's Day, but I thought they would be cute, like if you're decorating like Priscilla and Chelsea do all their pieces, these would come in handy, so I picked that up. And then this is a flag that you put out in your front door. I'll either use it for that, or if I need the material of it to back something for St. Patrick's Day, because I don't have a lot of St. Patrick's Day decor. You know, I have a lot of Easter and I have a lot of Christmas and Thanksgiving, but St. Patty's Day I don't have a lot. So I also thought this for tracing and quilting or whatever, you know, the shape of a clover, or because I don't cook. I wish I did more, but I just don't feel like I'm a good cook, and I don't bake, so it won't get used for that. And then I found this little block, and like I said, for framing your pieces or whatever, it's green, or if you paint it, you know, or just cover it and have the green edges. I just thought it was perfect. I mean, it says it was $13, but these were 75% off, so I was like, it's worth $4 or $5 for something like that, because when I go on Etsy to find things, they're a little bit more expensive. So I bought 2 of them. I'm not sure if I'll use them both, but one of these days, if I get into giveaways or whatever, I'm going to have a collection of things that I can at least try and give away. And then, of course, this was also bought this past month. It was at Hobby Lobby, and it's a pair of scissors. It says "So Happy." So I thought, you know, somewhere on the wall, it would make a cute little decoration, because I like gadgets. So I don't know if you can see, but we finally got my little sewing machines hung up here to hang my scissors and rotary cutters on. So just even something like that, you know, you could put it down here on the wall. My husband's a little finicky about holes in the walls, so I try not to put too many in them. So that was also bought. And then I've been trying to get more linens and Aida cloths just to have on hand. I don't have a whole lot right now. I've got a little bin that's, you know, yay big, and I stuff it in there right now. But as I'm doing more, and I'm one that enjoys kitting, so if I find a pattern that I want to do, I want to have the things on hand. So I had to pick up a couple that when I was in the store. I always forget that they carry linens there now, you can find. But this is a Charles Craft even weave, and this one says tea-dyed, and it's a 28 count Lugana. So it says Irish linen, so I'm liking the color of that. And it's a fairly large piece. It's 20 by 24, so like I said in previous floss tubes, I'd like to start some smalls, and I'm thinking these might be good on what are the ones called, either the Prairie Schooler Santas or the monthly calendar ones that I'd like to do. So having enough of that on hand is what I was trying to do. And then this one is a 16 count Aida cloth. So I bought 18 count for Cardinal points, and I thought, well, why not have different counts on hand, because all the patterns call for so many different counts depending on the size of them, if you want to make them larger or smaller. So I'm trying to collect a few more, since I'm really not like some that I've seen that have drawers full, and I don't think I'll get to that point, but I do want to have different counts for different ones. I also, as it's really not haul for me, I actually want to give away from one of my quilter that I listened to, getting a book. It's not here yet, but she mailed it today. But I thought I'd just share that that happened this month for me as well. And I don't win too many things, so when I won it, I was kind of excited to see. But it's a quilt book called Patches of Stars, and her name is Etcha, I guess is how you say it. Sitar is her last name, but they're all star quilts, so I'm going to look forward to trying to make a star quilt for myself or family member, most likely. But I've done small ones and baby ones, but I'd like to try a full-size quilt, so I'll look through that book. But they're more vintagey type stars, which I'm into vintage. I love anything vintage, so I was excited to be the winner of that from Pat Sloan's giveaway that she had last week. So that's pretty much my haul. And like I said, it was a lot. And then I shared you my stitching that I did this past month. And I think the next thing that I just want to share is the other things that I've done this month. And thanks to the Flosstube community, and this last month I think a lot of us were doing the common threaded stitcher with Kia and the team. So the prompts every day was just so enjoyable, and I want to thank them publicly for doing that, because it just helps me to get to know other stitchers that are out there, and I enjoy the community so well. I enjoyed sharing my photos and how I do certain things and letting you all know a little bit more about me. But I came across a couple that I enjoyed learning the same things that they like that I like. So when they share their things, I see it and I think, oh, I have that. I'm going to do that. So I had to kit up a few more projects. Whether I start them or not, we'll see. But I am excited to at least have all the things for them to get them started. And the small ones, you know, I could probably start them and hopefully they'll go as quick as some of them say they do. And I'll just share the 3 that I did this past month. And the first one, of course, I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. The first one was, I think I shared that I got this on St. Patrick's Day from Keepsakes, not realizing that I was put on their auto ship, I guess is what it's called. So because of that, I wanted to kit it up, and I didn't realize it, but it's been a while ago. When I got the first day of Christmas, I also ordered some fog linen, that is the called for linen for these patterns. So I actually have 2 pieces, so I have the 1st and the 6th now, and I have a floss for it, or not floss, but I have the fabric for it. So I had to find the flosses. On the first day of Christmas, I'm doing it in silks, and I didn't realize that when I purchased the DMC, but I really like, I don't know if you can see it, but the colors on the fog linen for this pattern are just gorgeous, and I really love how that looks on the fog linen. So I'm going to stick to the DMC for day number 6. I have day 2 and I'm waiting for 3, 4, and 5, but I'll do 1 through 6 and hopefully get those done. I mean, no timeline here. It might take me a couple years, but I am working on 1 right now, and I've kitted up 6. And then I'll look and see what 2 calls for, but this next month I'd like to find all the flosses for 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if I do have haul, it'll most likely be floss next month. So that was one that I kitted up and made sure I had the floss for, because I really love just out of a whim pulling out something and saying, I'm going to start that because I have the floss and I have the fabric and the pattern. So that's the fun part for me, is getting it all kitted and ready to go, and then I can just say whenever I am stuck somewhere or not able to do something, I can pull something out that I already have. So that was the one thing that I did do this month. The other one that I had was a hands-on design, a year of celebrations, and this is the monthly ones that I was talking about. I'm not sure what they'll look like on the 28 count, but some of, I'm not sure it says on here, it probably does, but I think it's a 32 count that these are supposed to go on. So I might be looking for the 16 count that's in that browner color, but I was going to start April, and that's what I kitted up, was April, since it's April. And these are the colors, mostly the DMC, very vibrant, springy looking colors, and then the snowball is the classic colors. I have all the colors there. I'm missing just 2, and I can run up to Hobby Lobby and grab those 2. They're really good about having the numbers that I want when I go up there, so I'm just going to go grab those 2 and have this one kitted up. Like I said, I do have the fabric here, I think it's a 32. I didn't write it down, but when I put it in the bag, I think it's a fairly large piece. It'll do a few of the months, I'm pretty sure, but I'm thinking that looks pretty good for April. And that's what I wanted to go with. The other small ones that I want to do, but they won't be smalls because I want to do them in a village type form, are the Little House Needleworks, and make a little village like Deb is doing on Country Stitchers. That's my other plan with this fabric. But as you see in this one, it has the little clipboard, and the other day I remembered when I was going through all my stuff, I actually have a little clipboard. So I am excited. That's why I wanted to kit one up, because I want to start doing these and have one sitting out every month, and maybe do the magnets on this so that I can go back and forth and pull it off every month and change it out. Maybe put a removable, since this is metal, I could easily put a magnet on my decoration for each month. So that was another one that I kitted up. And then thanks to the Starlet stitcher, Tonya, she posted on one of her floss tubes this last week that I didn't know about it until I heard her talking about it, that Teresa Kogut is having a hashtag, and if I remember, well, I'll put it in the bottom on the description, but it's you stitch anything up, Teresa Kogut. So she was sharing which one she had, and it was Land That I Love, and I told myself I have it too. And when I pulled it out, I thought I just had the chart, but whenever I kit something up, or buy a chart I should say, especially when they're this big, I like to purchase the fabric with it. It just makes it easier, and like I said, I don't have a huge stack of fabrics, so having it already with the chart when it comes is so much easier to kit up the flosses and then just be ready to go. So when she said that, I went to my file and pulled it out, and this fabric was already here. So it's the tin roof that it's called for. Yeah, tin roof on 35 count is what this is. So I think it's a pretty big piece, because when I unfold this, it's very large. And then just the colors, they're just so pretty. So whether I start that right away or, this year, I am excited that it's ready to go and I can just pull it out. So like I said, Teresa Kogut has a hashtag. I don't know, it's from her or somebody started it, but I will put that down in the bottom if you're interested and you have any of her charts, like the new ones that are coming out. Love Reigns, I think, or something, but any of those, you just follow the hashtag and share your stitching, and it's just fun. That's why I love this. And I also had the needle minder. This isn't a needle minder, this is a floss ring. The floss ring, it says America, Land That I Love on it, so I had to put all the flosses on there. So those are the three that I stitched up, or not stitched, but kitted. And I had fun doing that. Like I said, it's just been a fun month with Common Threaded Stitcher, and then the haul, as well as all the things that I kitted up, and my Whip Go. Other than that, the only other thing I was going to share were my plans, and then a little update, life update, I guess that you would call it. But the Ukrainian door quilt that I mentioned earlier, this is how far I've gotten, and these are the colors that I'm doing. I've got them cut to size. All I got to cut is my white pieces that'll go here, and my backing, and then I can quilt it and hang it on the door. So I'm hoping no more than 2 weeks I should have it on my door and be able to just support the Ukrainian people and all that's happening over there. But I just wanted to share that was the other project that I've been working on this past month. The ironing and the cutting, it's like the kitting. I just enjoy it, and it's my quiet time, I guess you would call it. It's my happy place. So other than doing that and trying to organize, I've gotten a lot done in here, and I'm really pleased with how spacious I feel when I'm in here now. I don't feel so cluttered. I moved my sewing machine from on this side and I put it over on this side because it's just more conducive. I'm a right-handed person, and sitting over here trying to sew was too crowded. So I'm on this side. The other few things I mentioned was if y'all are planners, and I try to be with WIPGO, that it's really helped me to be more of a organized person, just to be able to have that. I decided to try and keep track of different things, like one book I'll use for WIPGO, another one I'll use for quilting, and then another I'll use for crochet. So this one in particular is one that I'm starting, and I found some stickers, and I started in April, and I'm just going to try to make it pretty. Put my plans in there and have somewhere that I put down what I've done for projects. So this one I thought I would use for either crochet or just life plans. Like I said, we're doing things with the lot and stuff that we're building out at the lake. So I thought to be able to keep track of what's going on in my life, it's good to have separate ones. I can't put one book and put everything in it, because then I get confused. So having one to pull for specific crafts is kind of my goal. So Sticker Steph from Just Keep Stitching, she also has an Instagram that she shares what she's doing, and it just gave me a little idea that, you know, I have these gel pens to make things pretty, and I know I can find more planner stickers, but these were at I think these were at Kroger's actually. So you can find stickers for things like that everywhere. So that was the other thing that I've been doing, and I just started that this week, so that's been fun, as well as more stitching. Fat Quarter Shop has this vintage cloth. It's a 10 count, so I did pick that up as well this past month. But on their web page, they have the Petite stitches is what they're called, but they have all kinds, and they're free, so I'm able to share it. But there's, you know, a quilt block for one, a little house, one called Stuff, Home, Valentine's Day. So I just printed them all off. This one is green, it was for St. Patty's, then this one's for Easter. And then on their Fat Quarter Shop tutorials on YouTube, you can find how to make the little, it's a bag is what it is. So you use this 10 count, you stitch this on it, and then the tutorial shows you how to sew it together. So I would like to make one for each if I can. And even if you don't use the bag, you can just have it stitched up and put it on something, one of your, you know, framed works or something for the holidays. So I did that as well this month. So getting things in my little notebooks has been not priority, but something that I've been, my goals for this craft room, just to be a little bit more organized. So been putting things into notebooks is pretty much what it is. And I think that's pretty much it that I wanted to share. And of course, yes, I went way over my goal is 45 minutes every month, but I'm finding more things to share each time. But lastly, I just wanted to life update, and you know, if I won't keep you long, I'm just going to show you a couple pictures of what we're doing out at the lake, because I haven't figured out how to do it on YouTube yet. I don't know if I will or not, but technically challenged me, so I just thought I'd put it on my iPad, a couple pictures, and share them here if you can see them, so that you can kind of see what we're doing. But like I said, we bought some property out there, and we have a boat at a marina, and it's here in Lake Texoma. We're on the Texas side, where Lake Texoma, the other side is Oklahoma. but we keep our boat out there. In the past 3 years we've been going there every summer, and we thought it would be so nice to have a piece of property. So, Lord blessed us and we were able to do that this last year, and it's going a little faster than I thought it would, but we decided to put out a garage out there first instead of a house, just so that we can start the process, because with everything going on in our world, we just have to do it slowly, and we just want to make sure that we're doing it properly. And Lord willing, we will have a house out there to retire in when my husband retires at 65, we're hoping. He just turned 61, but I'll kind of get up close if I can and share, if you can see. This is how far we've gotten. This is the garage here. We poured the cement. This is me way over here, but I'm not sure if I'm close enough or not. But this will be the property and the house will be on this side. But for now we've got the garage going in, and it's a 30 by 30 garage, as well as there'll be a bathroom inside the garage. So this summer we would like to be able to stay up there on the weekends and have a restroom in there and a shower, and that way we don't have to drive home. It's about an hour away, so an hour there, an hour back, so it'll be nice in the summer when it's nice to be able to stay up there on a Friday and come home on a Monday. So that's the plan right now, but that's the progress that they've got the steel up, and then they've got the driveway in, and today they were actually putting the siding in. Yesterday they got the windows and the door in, so there's like 4 or 5 windows. So each month I'd like to update you all, just how we're doing in that. I don't know if you can see it in this picture or not, but the storms that we had about 2 weeks ago, I guess it was, a tornado touched down just on the other side of this water tower. And that night my neighbor here that lives on this side of us, went out and she took a picture, and there was a rainbow, and we just thought that was gorgeous. But thankfully the tornado didn't do any damage on this side, and we were just praising the Lord that there's a rainbow in the skies, and just his promise to protect us. And of course we're praying for those that were damaged on the other side. It was just hard to see so many things, and that's where we just pray. But I just wanted to share those few pictures. I just thought that for life updates, you can get to know me a little and what we're doing, and it just makes the community a little bit easier, and we can share ourselves. And I just really appreciate being able to chat with you. Oh, not sure what that is. But anyway, I just wanted to share a little bit about what we're doing now at the lake, and I think on my page you'll see the Lake Life logo, but that's what that's all about. We have a little piece of property out there that we're gonna retire on, and hopefully, I'm not sure how quickly, but for now we're just gonna take it one step at a time. And again, like I said, I appreciate the time that you've spent with me. I would like to ask just another little life update. It was last Sunday, my husband tripped and fell, and when he fell, he tried to catch himself with his left hand, and he went down, hit his face, so he's got a couple bruises, he's got a fractured wrist, and 2 broken ribs. So it's been a little bit of a adjustment the last week, trying to keep him immobile, because 2 broken ribs, it's not very comfortable to sleep. So I appreciate prayers for him during this time, but that's kind of where we're at, and hoping next month to have some more progress to share with you. And I appreciate you coming back and watching me, and you guys all have a great night, and happy April and happy spring. So we'll see you again next time. Bye.